attending today's class for the first time, okay? But I'll make sure that it's as slow and understandable as possible. Okay, Ashish, I will take your question in the end, okay? But I will make sure I address that after I'm done with what I should be doing today. Okay, great. So just for the people who are attending today's class for the first time, let me just quickly introduce myself. I won't take more than a few minutes, I promise, right? I am Aparna. I've co-founded Grassroot Education in 2018, and we've been into IELTS coaching ever since, right? So we've been able to touch more than 1,500 students. That's a rough number, paid students, and we've also have about 25 to 27,000 students who are taking our program or consuming our content across all platforms. Okay, Instagram, YouTube, our emails, and also WhatsApp. Okay, so you must be following us either on Instagram or YouTube. If you're not, please follow us there as well. So we don't just conduct master classes; we also do a few live sessions on YouTube apart from streaming these master classes. So what we do exactly is we do guided newspaper practice classes. I'm sure if you've been following us, you will know this. What exactly we do there is we pick up a newspaper article, help you read it out, and also you read it out aloud along with us. And these classes happen Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today was an exception. We didn't take the newspaper class, but that's when it happens. Okay. On Instagram, we do Q&A live. So there's one day that I dedicate to the week only for Q&A on one particular section, and I do a live session on Instagram as well. So it's like a live interaction. Apart from this, we also conduct, quizzes on Instagram and a few videos that are uploaded as a part of strategies, sharing strategies with you. Okay, so if you're not following us there yet, you can do that. We also have an exclusive mobile app. It's called Grassroot Education. Same logo that you find on Instagram and YouTube. It's called Class Plus for the iPhone version. Okay, that's how it is. Now, what do we do on the app? So we add you to a free batch in case you're someone who's looking for just the free sessions. We add you to a free batch, and then we share all the content on Instagram, YouTube, and any study material that we share, we send it out through the app, right? So if you guys didn't know about all of this, you can maybe follow us there just to get a hang of what it is. Also, we send out, you may be a part of our emailer list already. So if you are not, maybe you can sign up for more such free classes through our Instagram channel. Okay, so I hope I addressed all the questions about what else we do apart from the free master classes. Now, apart from our paid programs are called evaluation services, and you can check them out on the app again. Most of the content is restricted to someone who's a paid member there. The paid classes are also conducted just like this. So if you're someone who is looking for a demo, if you're someone who wants to understand how we teach, this class is for you as well. Okay, right. So now that I've addressed everything that's administrative, let's get started with matching headings now. Okay, so since this class is going to be very specific about matching headings, I got to ask you this. Do you know what matching headings means, all of you who are here right now? And also people who are watching us on YouTube. Do you guys know what matching headings questions are, all of you? Okay, you can answer that on the chat. You don't have to raise your hands, all of you guys. Okay, Shruti. All right, Ashish. What about the others? You guys have an idea or you don't? Correct, Sarvajot. I wish it was Sarabjot. Sorry, I have been pronouncing your names correct. Incorrect. Okay, Renault. Okay, Siddharth, Lakshmi. Yeah. Okay, some of you have no idea. Some of you have enough idea for you to solve these questions as well. Right. Okay, any more answers that you guys want to give? Okay, and remember, I want to keep the class as interactive as possible. So I don't want to be the one who's talking for most of the time. So it will help if you guys respond too. Okay. Okay. Okay, Siddharth. All right. Okay. Done. All right. So I think you're done giving your responses. Yes, it is exactly that. You are supposed to match the heading to a certain paragraph with its appropriate one. Okay. So you are given a bunch of paragraphs that probably look something like this. You have a bunch of paragraphs that look like the one you're seeing here. You are given alphabets to each of these paragraphs, A, B, C, D, and so on. You are given a list of headings, and these headings are usually more than the number of paragraphs. So if you have 5 paragraphs, you might have 7 or 8 headings. Okay, so there will be headings that you will not be using. And you're going to match the appropriate title to this paragraph here. Okay, so that's the gist. I mean, that's how the question type looks like. Okay, but what exactly helps? Why do people struggle in this question type? I'm going to address that reason first, and then we'll look at solutions. Okay, the reason why most people struggle with matching headings is one, you have to read the entire paragraph end to end, understand it completely before you actually choose a heading. That is the utmost requirement. I mean, you have to do this. Because of which you might have issues with time because you have just 1 hour for the entire reading test. You have to complete 40 questions there. So that means you have about 5 to 6 questions to answer here. And all of those questions or paragraphs are as lengthy as this. How much time can you actually take to read this paragraph? You might take a minute, you might take 2 minutes. So that makes it 2 into 5, 10 minutes just for matching headings. And that's with just one passage. What if there are more passages having matching headings, right? Which is why time becomes one issue. Second is the text. Somehow we get distracted by a certain keyword that is present in our headings. Now, in your matching headings, it is the summary that matters, summary to this paragraph that matters. What does not matter is whether this word is there in that heading or no. For example, editor, sub-editor, journalists. This is some word that we see. Or some other keyword, headquarters, pre-press, center. We're looking at these keywords right now. And the moment you find a keyword here in your headings, you somehow get attached, right? You somehow get biased to that heading. This is a second issue. Okay, so time is one. Second is getting distracted by the keywords. So this helps, I mean, this kind of stops people from scoring well in this area. Now, why is it that you feel you are struggling? Now, that's like also another point to address, another concern to address. You might be doing well overall in the other question types. But if you have 5 questions to answer, or let's say 10 questions to answer in matching headings, you may be making 4 or 5 mistakes in that. What is 4 or 5 mistakes out of 40? 34 or 35. And that may be your score requirement for your PR, or if you are writing the academic test, you're probably higher. But if you're applying for a PR, you're writing the general training test, you might be just touching a 7 with just these mistakes. What happens if you make more mistakes in other areas? It brings your score further down. That's the problem, and it's not very difficult to address this. So, a couple of things that you need to develop before you actually think about attempting matching headings is one is definitely speed reading. You cannot underestimate this step, nor can you skip this step and think about just doing practice. Okay, so I'm not here to finger point or anything. You may be doing this the right way, you may be still struggling. All you need to develop or improve in is speed reading, right? So let me just give you one example on how you do speed reading and how that helps in matching headings. And then I will tell you what else you can do, I mean, what else you should be doing correctly to score well here, right? But until now, are you with me? Are you able to understand how to attempt this and what concerns you might have when you're attempting such a question? Yeah, all of you are clear? And also the YouTube audience. I hope you guys are clear as well. Okay. Nivedita, I didn't understand the word split there. But anyway, Sandeep, Shruti, Siddharth, yes, I hope the others clear as well. So, yeah. Some of you are asking me, is there a way that I can identify the correct answer? Not really. But anyway, are you guys clear? Whoever said no idea, are you guys clear now? Yes or no? Okay. Don't hesitate to respond. Okay. I'm not here to ask you a lot of questions. I'm just asking you if you understood this. Okay, one more time, very quickly. Matching headings requires you to identify the title. You are given a bunch of paragraphs. The titles are more in number than the number of paragraphs. And what kind of mistakes does a student make, or what kind of concerns does a student have? He or she has issues with respect to time. He or she has issues with respect to making the mistake of getting distracted with keywords. So if you have a keyword like this, you might get distracted to choose that as your heading, which may not really be the heading. So, distraction by keywords time are two important concerns. The third concern that I expressed is that you might be making a lot more mistakes than the other question types, which is kind of pulling your overall reading score down. Okay, so the solutions to this is like writing a cost solution answer. The solutions here are: one is to develop speed reading. Okay, so there is no shortcut here. You have to develop this. Now, what do I mean exactly by speed reading? All you have to do is to pick up certain key information and try framing some story out of it. You have to do this with the entire passage first, not just with the first paragraph. Okay? First step, always do speed reading of your entire passage. So if you're someone who is able to read more than 200 words per minute, I mean, if you're able to cover one entire page in 1 minute, that's speed reading. Most of us are able to cover half a page within 1 minute. Okay, so I mean, this is like an average number. So it's not like you have to reach 200 words per minute if you have to score well. It's just that you have to get there at least. You have to improve from where you are right now. So imagine this is a one-page article. You should be finishing and connecting the dots within 1 minute. Okay, this is also called skimming, right? Most of you know the word skimming. This is also called skimming, getting the gist of the entire passage and understanding what the passage can be. Why is this step so important? Why do you think I can't just ask you to, can't I just tell you, okay, read this paragraph, get to the headings? What happens if you do that? Now, what happens is generally we're so tuned to something that's, or we are kind of comfortable with something that we already know than something that we don't know, right? Our mind is just tuned to that. But when you're trying to read something that you don't know at all, not the time constraint, Aisha, it's more that it does not stick to you. When you start reading the first sentence, you somehow force yourself to understand the context. And for matching headings, you have to get an idea about what the entire paragraph means. Okay, as in what the entire paragraph is telling. You have to understand every sentence here. So that is not going to happen in the first attempt. You have to make yourself comfortable, do the warm up, and that's exactly what skimming does. Why is it that skimming will help you? I mean, doing skimming in general, as in your daily life, is going to help you. Where else, apart from the reading section, where else do you think the skill of skimming is going to help you? Can you answer this? Apart from the reading section, I mean, that's where you're doing maximum use of skimming. Where else, apart from the reading section, are you using this skill? And it's a very straightforward question. Okay, that's to check your answers. Okay, good, Renal, good insight. Siddharth, that's nice. Can you guys select all panelists and attendees, please? All of you are, uh, you know, giving me great answers. Okay, that's for reading, Siddharth. You were definitely using skimming for your reading test. What else are you using it for? Aisha, good. Priya, please select all panelists and attendees, all of you. So that's common sense, right? Good. No. What are you using it for? Where are you using skimming for apart from just the reading test? You need it for the reading test, but if you develop this naturally, it's going to help you in another section of the IELTS, specifically in one area of that section. And I'm looking for that answer. Very few of you are giving me that answer. If I tell you what the answer is, okay, okay, no, definitely in proofreading your essays. Where else? In your MCQs, in the listening test. Don't you think you will be able to read faster if you have skimming skills? Yes, can you guys answer that to me? I'm going to change my slide. All of you are getting distracted by the passage. Yes, is that, did you understand how else skimming can help? When you're doing MCQs in listening, you are reading long texts, long options. That's where skimming can help you. Did you guys understand this? Yes, I know all of you are enthusiastic about solving this, but let's just establish some foundation and then we'll get there. Okay? Okay, good. We'll, Manoj, Farah, Shruti, Dhiren, Sai Kiran, good. Yes. So skimming will help you there as well. Okay. Now, this is why you should develop this skill, and how do you do it is exactly this. Pick up one line and try to pick up some keywords from your eye. Your eye should remember these keywords. That's what I mean by skimming. So if I'm looking at newspaper production, I'm also looking at, let me just highlight it. Probably I'll just mark it up. Yeah, so you're talking about newspaper production. You're talking about old days, ultimately printed, journalists working, printing presses, sub editors, these three people. Papers together are likely, totally different building. Situation now prevails. Daily paper is compiled, known as the pre-press center, printed far away, human beings minority, automated machines. We saw all of these keywords. How do we match them and come to a conclusion about what the paragraph can be? This you have to do with the entire passage. I'm just showing you an example of how you can do it with a paragraph. So when you do this, you are able to get the gist out of that paragraph. And suddenly you think about, when you read the entire sentence here, it becomes easy for you. So if you don't develop this, you might not be getting comfortable reading the paragraph, which in turn helps you arrive at the right heading. So that's like your first step. Okay. And the faster you realize this, the better it is for you. And how do you develop this apart from just doing reading practice? Read newspapers, read a lot, okay, and do this every single day. Pick up a newspaper article, do skimming, and then do detailed reading. Okay, please do this every day. And this is what we also do in the guided newspaper classes. Please take a look at one class recording, it's there on YouTube. Will not take you more than 10 minutes to skip through the entire recording and understand what we do there. Okay, to spend that time. So this is clear. The first step is clear. This is exactly what you do. You skim your passage well. That's the first step. And is this clear? Please give me a yes. Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. Great. Fine. So now that you have done this, you get to the actual, you get to the core of the exercise, which is doing detailed reading. This is where the class actually starts, right? So what you do here in matching headings is very simple. Once you've done skimming, you read the entire paragraph with utmost attention and form your own summary. Okay, because ultimately this is finding a title to the paragraph. So you have to be identifying the title correctly, for which you need to identify the summary on your own. Okay, so how do you exactly understand whether your summary is right or wrong? Okay, do this. When you read certain sentences, you might find that the point conveyed by these sentences is not really helping you identify a summary. There will be sentences in a paragraph that are not necessary, that are probably just there for the sake of it, but they're not contributing to the summary of a certain paragraph. Every written piece has this particular, not a problem, it's just that there will be sentences that are not contributing to the central idea. But there will be certain sentences, and most of them will contribute to the central idea of the paragraph. You need to identify that group of sentences and read them very carefully, and then get the summary out of that paragraph. So, for example, if you have this paragraph here, and with the reading that I just did, I'm able to identify that it makes a comparison between the past, where it was just printed in one building, with the present, which is talking about printing them in different locations, printed far away in the suburbs. Now, until this, if you can see, are all the sentences that contribute to this idea, this comparison. But look at the last sentence. Here, human beings are in minority, as much of the work done is done by automated machines controlled by computers. This is just one sentence here. It cannot be forming or contributing to your summary. So hence, your heading, what can your heading be among the 9 answers here? You will again have to see which title matches the central idea and identify that title here. Okay, so if you guys have been reading this for a while, you may be getting the answer already. Please tell me what the answer can be, and please select all panelists and attendees while you do that. Okay, Nima, who's listening very attentively on YouTube, glad that you gave the right answer. Manoj, careful. Shruti, good. Sai Kiran, you're going to give me Roman numbers, not the numericals. Okay, you guys? Yeah. Roman numbers always. Otherwise, your answer will be incorrect despite you telling me the right answer. Okay, great. Good. Majority of you are okay. Okay. So, what I'm getting on the chat box is I'm getting 5 and 6 as my answer. What do I do now? What do I do as a student? I may be confused. Is it 5? Is it 6? What do I do? Right? So let's wait. Let's do this later on. What you will do if you are confused, you've spent 2 minutes reading the entire paragraph. You don't want to waste any more time on this particular paragraph. You have more questions to answer. So maybe just mark 5 and 6. These are your potential answers. And we're done. We'll move forward to paragraph B. Okay. Now you will read paragraph B. Do the same thing with identifying headings. There may be one heading that's like the hero, or there may be headings that are probably the answers. Do that again with paragraph B. You read it thoroughly. Identify the possible headings. Don't have 4-5 headings. Have 2 or maximum 3. When I said shortlist or have like a potential list of headings, have 2 maximum, or yeah, maximum 3, not more than that. Okay, great. So can you now identify the potential headings to be? And as I said, you're going to solve this along with me. Okay. Great, Sandeep, Harsha. But you guys, you have to be giving me Roman letters. Okay. All right. Some of you feel 5, some of you feel 7. Let's read it and understand it. Okay. Let's do the same thing that we did with A. Once the finished newspaper has been created for the next morning's edition, all the pages are transmitted electronically. Okay. So that's the first sentence. The system of transmission is an update on the sophisticated page facsimile system. Okay. As in, how you transmit the finished newspaper is like an upgrade to the existing system. An image center at the printing image setter at the printing center delivers the pages. Each page takes less than a minute to produce, although for color pages, once each for black, cyan, magenta, and yellow are sent. The pages are then processed into a photographic negative, and the film is used to produce aluminium printing plates ready for the presses. What does it talk about? The entire paragraph, every sentence here is like a story, is contributing to a story. So we should identify a summary here. It talks about how the paper is transmitted electronically to the printing center. What happens at the printing center such that the printing process, everything is ready for the printing process, right? Don't you think that's what the paragraph is? Starts about where it all starts, right? Everything is received electronically, and then something is made ready so that the printing presses are ready for printing. Do you agree with me on this? All of you? Good. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, nice. Correct. Okay. All of you giving me the answers, but yeah, this is how you, the process is this. Okay. So, how much time did we take? We took probably exactly 2 minutes from paragraph A to paragraph B. We have now identified our answers. Getting the newspaper to the printing center. This looks like the most appropriate heading. The other headings don't make sense, right? There's no heading that looks like the potential right answer except 7 in this case. So such cases are straightforward. You don't have the confusion at all, but we will not make the final decision now. We will move forward because we're done spending 2 minutes on our paragraph B. Okay, great. Moving ahead to paragraph C. Okay, so do you guys want to do this on your own? Maybe let's try doing it, alone. I'll not guide you here. I'll do the same thing. I'll discuss the paragraph after you're done. Quickly read it and tell me what the answer is. Go ahead. Go ahead. So people watching us on YouTube, give me messages on the the YouTube chat, the live chat. Okay. Yeah. All right. Great. Go ahead. Go ahead. Quickly. Okay, more answers, please, except for the 4, 5 people who are responding to me very meticulously. Okay, yes, okay, 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 different answers this time. 1, 2, 4, let's see. 7 cannot be the answer. Mohsin, was that to the earlier one? Okay. 1, 2, and 4. Okay, okay. Let's read it together, right? Okay, Nivedita, thank you for your answer. Aisha, all right. Simranjeet. Okay, wonderful. Most of you are actually right here. Anyway, a procession. What is procession? A huge collection of, okay, like a huge, not collection really, but a huge gathering of automated vehicles is busy at the new printing center where Sydney Morning Herald is printed each day. Okay, this is clear, no confusions. With lights flashing and warning horns honking, the robots look for all the world like enthusiastic machines from a science fiction movie as they follow their own random paths around the plant, busily getting on with their jobs. So it talks about how the procession looks like. Okay, automation of this kind is now standard in all modern newspaper plants. This is like the changing point. Okay, so they've described what kind of automation it is, and suddenly they said this is common everywhere. And then they're getting to the point here, which is the robots can detect unauthorized personnel and alert security staff immediately if they find an intruder. Not surprisingly, tall tales are already being told about the machine starting to take on personalities of their own. Okay, so as in, what are tall tales? Those bulbs, right? So they kind of take a personality of their own when they detect someone who is unauthorized, and this kind of automation is there everywhere. So these machines that you find that are busy in their own paths are actually resemble security guards at a certain place. So what do you think is the answer now? None of you, surprisingly, here have given me the right one. But as I said, I will tick one. Some of you said two, preparing for LGVs to take over. Some of you said four. Okay, also some of you said nine. Farah, no, I'm not marking more than three here. Okay, I've marked one enough, so I'm not marking eight again. Nobody is controlling the robots here. It's just that it's actually the opposite. Okay, so 1, 2, 4, and 9 look like the best answers. I'm not being judgmental yet. I'll probably reveal the answers later on. Most of you already know it. But anyway, we'll move on to paragraph D now. As I said, I'm not going to spend more than 2 minutes in a paragraph. So we are at paragraph D. Tell me what the answer to this is. You might change your stand about paragraph C after this. Go ahead. And people on YouTube, Nima, good. So please give me your answers as well. Shiva Shankar, please use the chat box. I may not be able to look at your message every time. Okay. 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 You gave me 2 and 4 for the earlier one. Which do you think is right here? Okay. The robot's principal job, however, is to shift the newsprint that arrives at the plant and emerges at the other end sometime later as newspaper. So this is the robot's principal job. Once the size of the day's paper and the publishing order are determined, the information is punched into the computers and LGVs are programmed. What are LGVs here? Laser guided vehicles. Okay, are programmed, sorry, LGVs are programmed to go about their work. Okay, the LGVs collect the appropriate size of paper reels, which is like the day size of the day's paper, and take them where they have to go. When the press needs another reel, its computers alert the LGV system. The Sydney LGVs move busily around the press, fulfilling their two key functions to collect reels from the newsprint or from the racked supplies or in the newsprint area. At the stripping station, the tough wrapping that helps protect a reel of paper from rough handling is removed. So this information here is not required really. We're not going to focus on this, but if you can see this information, it talks about what these robots or laser guided vehicles actually do. So what looks like a more potential answer to this is 4, not really preparing LGVs for takeover. They're not prepared. They talk about what LGVs actually do, Nor did we talk about, Nivedita, about controlling the robots. So probably, maybe let's just mark 2 here. But I don't think you're preparing LGVs in any way. We're talking about what LGVs are doing as such. And the answer here is probably 2 or 4, which makes us rule out 4 in this case. It definitely is not the answer, don't you think? Now, do you want to change your stand about C? So it cannot be 4. Do you guys agree with me on this? At least 4 cannot be the answer here. Yeah. Yes. More answers. Yes. Please go ahead. Share your thoughts. Don't you think 4 cannot be the answer here? But don't make your decision yet, Aisha. You will be surprised to know that your answer is incorrect. Okay, 4 cannot be the answer here. So we're ruling out 4. We're done to some extent, we're done with 4 paragraphs, but somehow we've only identified answer to one paragraph here. But we will still be patient. We have 3 more paragraphs to go. Okay, yes, Siddharth, you will be surprised as well. Okay, now what can be the answer to E? You have more headings, Siddharth, to choose. Careful. Good discussion happening among you, but unfortunately it's leading into the wrong answer, so I'll have to stop you there. Tell me the answer to E, all of you. Okay, so what does Nima on YouTube think? Okay, she also thinks the same as you guys. Okay. Okay. Really, Deepika, Sri Lakshmi, Sandeep, really? Siddharth, really? Okay. Okay. Shruti, Dineshwar, on the right track until now. Okay, time's up. All right. No more than 2 minutes. Okay, we're not going to spend more than half a minute or 1 minute for this paragraph here. Reading this paragraph should not take more time. Okay, then one of the 4 pastor robots moves in. Specifically designed for the job, it trims the paper neatly and prepares the reel for the press. If required, the reel can be loaded directly onto the press. If not needed immediately, an LGV takes it to the storage area. Okay. When the press computer calls for a reel, an LGV takes it to the reel loading area of the presses. It lifts the reel into the loading position and places it in the correct spot with complete accuracy. As each reel is used up, the press drops the heavy cardboard core into a waste bin. When the bin is full, another LGV collects it, deposits the core into a shredder. What do you think is the answer here? This cannot be 7. Okay, so we're not talking about 7 here. Newspapers superseded by technology. Where are newspapers being superseded? Newspapers are being printed here, they're not being overtaken yet. Also, 5 cannot be the answer because we've also shortlisted 5 for A. That looks like the potential match. So 5 is also ruled out for this. Don't you think 1 is the answer? Robots working together. A lot of robots here, 4 robots working together, preparing LGVs for takeover. Now, what does this sentence actually mean? You are getting someone ready to do something. Is it that really, or is it something that's already doing? You're not preparing anything for anything. Okay, so did you understand why it can't be 2 as well? I'm just changing the way I teach you matching headings, but I want you guys to think correctly. Your reading of the headings can't go wrong. Did you understand this now as to why it can be 1? Some of you may also be telling 4 here. I agree that it can be 4, but isn't 4 more matching to this than this? So this is how you weigh your options against each other. You've read 5 paragraphs. By now, you should be making better judgments about the passage. So if you can take a look at all your answers, now do you think C is 1? Do you think C is 1 now? So change your answer now. What else can it be? It's not 1. You're not finding robots working together here. It's probably for E, paragraph E. That's where robots are doing different things at the same time. With E, it's probably talking about how these robots look like in the entire newspaper printing center, and these robots behave like security staff. That's what this paragraph talks about. What do you think is the answer to C here instead of 1? So I'm ruling out 1 here. Can you guys tell me? Good. Good. So this is not the answer. No. It can be 9. Beware of robots. Not 2 also. You're not preparing anything for takeover. Okay, so you're not preparing anything for anything. As I said, you're talking about robots being on their own and robots warning the security staff that there's something wrong going on. And they're describing how these robots look like. That's not there anywhere in your heading. So, probably this portion here is contributing to the central idea of the paragraph. And the earlier sentences are just like the warm up leading you to that idea. So you now understand why the answer here can be 9 and not 1 and 2. Did you understand this? Okay, good. Most of you understood this. Yeah. Here again, you talk about 2 places. It said about the principal job. So this principal, these are its duties. These are its principal duties. So I don't think you're preparing LGVs, you're not warming them up to take over here. It is also incorrect. Okay, so here the LGVs have already taken over the plant. They detect an unauthorized personnel and alert the security staff already. And the earlier paragraph, the earlier sentences tell how this entire system looks like from a bird's eye view. It's definitely not 1 or 2, it's 9 here. Okay, and here it is 4 because it talks about the LGV's main functions. These sentences here are irrelevant to the central idea. So we may as well ignore them. As I said, there may be sentences that are just there for the sake of it. So that's with B. Let's look at E. Okay, so we've understood E is also about, the robots working together. But we'll move ahead and see if we get any more contenders for 1 rather other than E. Okay, what do you think here? F, what is the answer? Yeah, good, Aisha. What about the others? Time's up. No more than 1 minute for you guys. Okay. Okay. Done. Good. Okay. The LGVs move at walking speed. Should anyone step in front of one or get too close, sensors stop the vehicle until the path is clear. The company has chosen a laser guide function system for the vehicles because as the project development manager says, the beauty of it is that if you want to change the routes, you can work out a new route on your own computer and lay it down for them to follow. When an LGV's batteries run low, it itself will take offline and go to the nearest battery maintenance points for replacement batteries. And all this is achieved with absolute minimum input and a much reduced risk of injury to people working. What is the answer? So it is definitely talking about technology, guys. People telling me the answer as 6. Preparing for LGVs to take over. Preparing LGVs for takeover. Both 2 and 6 here are indicating that these LGVs are like the king of the newspaper printing center, and they are doing someone else's job, and technology is like the ruler here. I don't think this paragraph talks about that. If you're making mistakes here in identifying the summary, you may actually be, I think, reading your headings wrong, because I can see that you've understood the summary a little, probably a little accurately, a little more accurately than required. But you guys are reading your headings wrongly, which is why you're making the mistake. Okay, so if you can take a look at 2, people who said 2 here, or 3, looking ahead. What is looking ahead? Something that happens in the future. Does not indicate that. Nothing about the future here. It talks about what is happening right now and what these laser guide vehicles do on their own. Preparing LGVs for takeover. So what are they exactly taking over? They're not taking over anything. Or if you're actually confused, you should probably be confused between 1 and 8. Robots working together or controlling the robots, because you are controlling the robots in such a way that they charge themselves, or they work in the path laid out by you. So don't you think it is 8 here, or maybe 1, apart from anything else? Did you now understand this? It cannot be 3 or 2. Or maybe when you read the last paragraph, okay, yes, is that clear? Yeah, not clear, not convinced. Okay, yes. So what happened? Why did you guys make the mistake in the last 3-4 paragraphs? E, F, G, and D, E, F, G. Why did you guys make the mistake? Can you retrospect, just do the retrospect here and see why you made the mistake? Maybe you read the paragraph well, you did not summarize it correctly, or you did not read your headings correctly. So it's just the 2 of the problems that you need to address to get this right. And I want you to respond. You cannot be this dominant. Please tell me if you understood this. You're getting the summary wrong, or you are understanding the heading wrong. So when you get the summary right and still you're choosing the wrong answer, you are reading the wrong heading. I mean, you're reading it wrongly. So when it says beware of robots, it indicates that, hey, be careful about robots. When it says controlling the robots, it's talking about controlling, literally doing everything for the robots and telling it how to do this, right? And here, getting the newspaper to the printing center, the entire paragraph talks about bringing the newspaper to the printing center. Newspapers superseded by technology talks about newspapers being not preferred, or technology being preferred over newspapers. So that's 6. Split location for newspaper production is telling you that there are different locations for newspaper production. The LGV's main functions, that's easy. Looking ahead is what will happen in the future. Robots working together, again, literally talks about the different laser guide vehicles working together. Preparing LGVs to take over, for takeover, they're taking over some function. So if I prepare someone for takeover, I am calling someone on board, and that person is going to be the host, not me. Was there any paragraph that you read matched with this? Not really. We didn't identify anything. Although that looks like a very attractive heading right now, there was no paragraph that had this. So please read your headings carefully after you've identified the summary. Let's go ahead and do the last paragraph and understand the final list of answers. I'm sorry if I reveal that. Anyway, please tell me the answer to G. Six, nine. Okay, we're done with 9, guys. 9 is for C. 6. Okay. We're done with 9. Can't be 9. Again, is newspaper being superseded here? We're talking about writing the newspapers as well as running the printing centers. Newspapers are not going to go anywhere. 6 can't be the answer. It does look like a very attractive answer because of the word superseded by technology. That's not really the answer, guys. 6 is not the answer. So 3, yes, looking ahead. How long will it be before robots are writing newspapers as well as running the printing center, churning out the latest edition every morning? So yes, looking ahead. Must now ask. Okay, so every question, every newspaper guy should be asking this question. How long will it be? That's looking ahead. What will happen in the future? It's definitely 3 here. Okay, so let's look at the final list of answers based on the reading that we did. So G is definitely 3. There's no confusion about it. F talks about two things. One, that the batteries are getting recharged on their own, and the path for the robots is laid down by humans. So that rules out anything else. The answer is 8 here. Okay, now so F is for, the answer to F is 8. Next, for E, the answer can be not the main functions. It is actually 1 here because it talks about 4 robots doing different things for the same activity, which is printing. So it's 1 for E. For paragraph D, it talks about 2 places. It mentions about what the principal jobs are. What are they? Perform 2 fulfilling functions to collect reels of newsprint or from the racked supplies of the newsprint storage area. That's 1. And here you go. So it gives the reel to the newsprint area. One is that once the size of this thing are determined, the information is punched and the LGVs are programmed to go about their work. The LGV collect the appropriate size and take them to wherever they go. When the press needs another reel, computer alerts the LGV system. So the main functions here are that you are taking the reel to the printed area, and you are also doing the job of probably staying there as backup. Whenever a new reel arrives, you're taking it to the storage area, either to the printing area or to the storage area. So it talks about the LGV's main functions here, which is why the answer is 4. The answer to C is certainly debatable, but it is 9, beware of robots, because these sentences here talk about how these robots look like. What exactly do they look like, and how, or what exactly do they do, or what exactly are they used for in the newspaper printing center, and how this kind of automation helps in printing newspapers. It's actually 9 here or C. For paragraph B, the answer is 7, getting the newspaper to the printing center. It's exactly that. The center delivers the pages as filled. Once the finished paper are created, this is transmitted to the pre-press center, and then everything happens and the printing plates are ready for the presses. So it's basically getting the newspaper and getting it ready for printing. That's why answer B is 7. Answer to A is 6, not 6, 5, not 6, sorry. It's 5, 2 locations. 1, in the past, everything was in the same building. 2, right now, it's far away from the pre-press center, printing center and the pre-press center are far away. So it's 5 for A. Did you guys get this, get these answers? Now I'm just going to show you the final list of answers. If you guys want to practice this, take a look at the official IDP or the IELTS website. You will find it. Okay. So did any of you get all of it right? Can you guys tell me? Okay. Okay, Gopinath, that's good answers coming up there. Did any of you get, or maybe how much was your score? Okay, that it's not fair for me to ask you your score right away and expect you to score well. How much did you score? That is, I think, a fair enough question to ask. If you want to share the score only with me, select all panelists. If you want to select your score with the others, you can select all panelists and attendees. So I'm able to see that you guys are doing pretty well. You're not going wrong with, you had 7 questions here, right? So some of you got 4 right, 5 right, 6 right. Isn't that good enough? It is good enough. Just try to correct your process with the mistakes that you made. Good job, all of you. And I can only see 4, 5, 6 in today's class. Good job, all of you. Okay. Who else wants to share their score here? And also on YouTube, Nima, Gopinath, Priyanka. If you want to share your score, you can do that on the chat. Shruti, no problem. Aisha, good job. You're halfway there, Shruti. Good, Jamshed, also halfway. Nice. So the time, it is definitely time consuming. The only way that you can bring down the time spent, instead of spending half an hour that we spent on this, if you want to spend 20 minutes, 15 minutes, what should happen? Deliver more, read a lot, make sure you improve your reading speed. The way you understand stuff matters a lot. You're getting a summary out of a text. It is bound to take time. So that is one. I mean, that's a given. But if you have to bring it down, optimize that time so that you have time for the other questions, you have to improve your reading speed. And if you're someone who's still making mistake, I'm pretty sure you're reading your headings incorrectly. The way you read your headings has to change. Okay, so quick summary of what we did today. 1, make sure you speed read. You do a lot of speed reading with newspaper articles. 2, bring out a summary to the paragraph and try identifying the potential list of headings. And 3, change the list of headings based on the reading that you do. So it has to be dynamic. You can't be fixated on one heading at the time. Okay, so this is how you answer matching headings. Through some of you remove the score on YouTube. It's okay, guys, don't be demotivated. Nima, that's a good score. Okay, no, please don't just read the first 2 lines and judge the entire central idea. That will be like the paragraph C. Remember paragraph C? The first few lines didn't even make sense. We didn't find anything that matches with the first few lines here. So reading the entire paragraph helps. Now, there will be one paragraph that's like this, but why do you take chance? Why do you want to make mistake in that one paragraph, right? Okay, so I hope I gave you enough insights for you to score well. Just what you should do after this is probably work on the weakness areas that you have and then start practicing again. So until you are actually good with your weakness, don't think about doing any more practice with matching headings. Okay. So now that I've told you this, I'm going to spend some time talking about our advanced programs and what exactly we do for reading specifically in the advanced programs. Now, if you guys want to listen about it and have been here to understand about the advanced programs, please take a look at my screen right now. Okay, so these are the 3 programs that we have: ES Basic, Standard, and Advanced. Okay, so the basic course is for anybody who is you're looking for evaluations immediately, right? As in you want evaluations right now, you have your exam coming up, say in 5 days, 4 days, 3 days, or maybe even day after tomorrow, right? So it's for someone in that category. So if you can take 2 reviews here. The standard fee is 1,250. You can your validity is 10 days. So you get the video lessons that are there on the app. You get doubt support for the reviews that you did, and you also get speaking and writing question banks. Okay, but you don't get full marks on listening and reading here. You get them in these programs, the standard and the advanced ones. So the standard program is 30 to 35 days long. You get 10 full reviews on writing and speaking, and you also get live classes on all sections: listening, reading, writing, speaking, and grammar. Along with that, you get pre-recorded video lessons. So as a part of these live classes, we do practice that we did today, and also, no, not the same, but obviously different content. And we give you assignments after live classes as well. So these 35 days, 5 weeks are dedicated to each section. Okay, writing 1 week, speaking 1 week, grammar 1 week, listening and reading 1 week each. That's the same thing that happens for advanced, same cycle, just that you get 10 full length mock tests along with 30 full evaluations on writing and speaking. And the validity here is 100 days, which is 3 months. Okay, and you also get every other feature that's available in the standard program. The only thing that's different is that your validity is a little longer. The number of reviews that you get is triple the standard course. Okay, so these 3 programs are at their standard fee right now, which is 1,250, 3,750, and 6,250. But if you want to enroll and if you want to avail a discount on these programs, you can do so by filling out the form that I'm sending to you right now. Okay, so this form here asks you the same form that you see right now. Asks you your email address, asks you which program you are interested in, which test you are writing, and what your mobile number is. So if you fill out this form, the counselor will reach out to you, help you understand this, and also give you like an insight on which course is the best one to choose. Okay, right? So if you have questions about these courses, you can maybe reach out to me right now. But if you don't, you can actually leave the session. There's nothing else that I'm going to cover academically. Okay, right? Any questions that you guys have on the course? So yes, Anis, I received your entry. Madhava, I received your entry. Anybody else who is wanting to fill out the form can let me know. Yes, Ashish, what can you do after doing masters? You can probably apply for a permanent residency there by writing IELTS GT, okay, in Australia. So, I mean, if you're studying masters in Australia, you'll probably be better off if you apply for internships initially before you apply for a final job. I mean, the rules there are a little less stringent compared to US. So you can have the student, you can work, I mean, search for jobs and student visa for a while before you start looking for permanent residency opportunities. Okay. But that totally depends on what course you're doing, how demanding your course is in that particular city or region. Make sure you choose a college or a university that is well known for that particular course. I mean, that's my advice, especially if you're going to Australia. Okay. Who else has a question? If you have a question on the advanced programs as well, I'm more than happy to answer them. Harsha, very soon. Yes, you can get your doubts clarified in the 10 days. Sri Lakshmi, if you have, I think, already filled the form, I'm not sure if it's the same Sri Lakshmi that filled the form a couple of days back. But if you have, you don't have to fill it again. Or if you wish to take the discount now, just fill it one more time. Okay, maybe then Sri Lakshmi, that was a different girl. You can just maybe fill out the form right now. Yes, you can still ask your doubts in listening and reading. If you enroll for the basic one, just that you don't get practice or access to the live classes. That's the only difference. You're most welcome to ask doubts. Because the video lessons on the app contain videos for all sections, not just for writing and speaking. You also get access to listening videos, to writing videos, reading, speaking, grammar. You get access to all of this, right? And apart from this, any program, anybody who's enrolled in our advanced program will get one quiz on vocabulary and grammar every day. Okay, that's a very short quiz, a 10-question quiz. So that's how uh, the program goes. These are the features. If you're someone who has our app already, you can maybe check these programs out and you can take a look at the course structure right on these programs. Let me just show you how they look like. So if you're able to look at my screen now, or this is where the chat option is where you will ask me doubts. And for example, the ES advanced course, you click on content, just take a look at it. You will not be able to watch videos here, but this is how the content looks like. The special battles, quizzes, these folders contain quizzes on different concepts. This is apart from the regular practice and the live classes. And these folders, listening, grammar and recording, vocabulary, reading, writing, speaking, all of these have video lessons, pre-recorded ones. The class recordings contain the live class recordings, okay? But if you enroll for the basic course, you don't get access to the live classes. Only that folder will not be there, but everything else is common, okay? Right. So that's how the course content is. Of course, if you're enrolling for the standard and advanced, that's where you're anyway getting access to the live class. So just take a look at the schedule. I think that will help you gain better clarity. Okay. So I'm just leaving you guys with the link. You can find this video, I mean the entire class on YouTube as well. So if you guys want to take a look at the class again, you can still do that. And I'm giving you the link to fill the admissions form on our YouTube channel as well. Same place where this video is going to be. So if you wish to fill out the form after that, is also okay. All right. Okay. So I'll see you guys soon then, maybe on Sunday with another live class. And also to people who are here, I could have said this earlier. Maybe I'll do a longer class on Sunday, longer than what we usually do. Okay, right? Longer than 1 hour, probably 2.5 hour classes. So you'll get information on this on your email and mostly on our Instagram or YouTube. Just keep following us there. All right. Okay, then I'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye bye. Have a good weekend.